Over the last 75 years, SIFAS's history has been most remarkable, perhaps unparalleled anywhere outside India, to have an institution that has developed and started with the passion of 12 people in 1949, and today it is proud to say that it has 2,000 members, 1,950 students, 18 faculties, and has made an impact on the global scene with promoting Indian classical arts. The various milestones, if I look back, well, way back in 1949, what started in someone's home, essentially to teach young girls Bharatanatyam and Carnatic vocal, grew slowly into becoming an institution. Way back in 1951, the then leaders of SIFAS brought in the first teacher from India. Later, in 1959, the then Culture Minister, Mr. Rajaratnam in Singapore, inaugurated the SIFAS Academy, and slowly it progressed into becoming an institution that it is today. As we look at the current premises of SIFAS, where we moved in about 40 years ago, was a very big support, a major milestone in the history of SIFAS, where the National Arts Council of Singapore and the government of Singapore gave us an old school which has an ambience of the old world charm, with several classrooms, greenery, and also residences for our own resident teachers and gurus. This place over the last 40 years has grown tremendously. I can look back with great pride that this institution progressed just as Singapore progressed, and in 1980 the insurgence and movement of more people from Indian origin shifting to Singapore for their jobs and expatriates from all parts of India, Singapore's community of Indian residents increased to more North Indians and people from different parts of North India. With that started our Hindustani section. Way back in 1980, which started with just sitar and tabla, which today has grown into Kathak, several teachers, vocal, Hindustani vocal, harmonium, and so on and so forth. And the Carnatic faculties have grown to its full-blown state and size. We have introduced Kuchipudi dance apart from Bharatanatyam and the North Indian faculties, and we have violin, veena, mridangam, and name it, we do have masters teaching all of these, which in one place the milestone is, nowhere else perhaps you have so many faculties with gurus teaching 1950 people in one location. We have gone ahead with our programming, and the programs part of it took off with having international festivals, local festivals, student programs, academy programs, wherein SIFAS hosts and manages about 200 programs a year in Singapore. Interestingly, the 75 years Diamond Jubilee of Singapore Indian Fine Arts Society coincided with Singapore's 60 years as an independent nation. Reflecting back, the milestone of Singapore's 50 years was an important one too, and SIFAS produced a wonderful book with all the history since its inception, and both the Prime Ministers of India and Singapore have complimented and gave their support to that whole project. Firstly, SIFAS draws inspiration from its mission statement, which is in Sanskrit, which says Kala Samskriti Lakshanam, meaning art characterizes civilization. It is so integral to the preservation of the identity of the Indian culture, and it's such an evolved art, science, and a holistic engagement to pursue the arts. We draw children from the age of 3 to 75, men, women, families, siblings. It's a buzzing place that draws everyone for a wholesome indulgence to learn something that is part of your identity and for you to sort of discover the joy, the beauty and the happiness that Indian classical arts provide you. Over the last several years, we have had so many programs. We call them international festivals, local festivals, academic festivals, workshops, lectures, master classes, all of which draw people and enthuse them, inspire them and make them learn. The way we see for us ourselves as our journey is to expose the Indian classical arts to as many people from different races, and once they have a taste of what it is, they start learning to appreciate that, and once they appreciate, they come to learn and train in the arts, and once they train in our arts, we provide the platforms for them to perform, and that is a virtuous cycle that has brought SIFAS to its current stage. We've had almost 60,000 community of people who pass through SIFAS, and we have touched their lives and they have contributed to the growth of this institution, and this wonderful journey continues today. On the performance side, we have hosted no less than 2,000 top artists of India at different concerts and programs organized by the institution through these years. Every major maestro, Pandit, Guru and high achievers of India have performed for Singapore Indian Fine Arts Society, and that promotes the appreciation of our arts. We have gone regional as well as global. Our artists, our students, our performing groups have gone around to perform in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Japan, Australia, Europe, Sri Lanka and also in several places in India. We are connected to the arts community globally, Indian classical arts communities, and we work with them through different partnerships, universities, performing arts companies and very reputed institutions all around in North India, South India and internationally. The Singapore Indian community has a great history of preserving their cultural identity. You will see a large number of people who send their young children to be exposed to Indian art forms, and that's where SIFAS comes in. It becomes a co-curricular activity pretty early in their lives. The second part of it is anything Indian is of spirit that has sort of enveloped the world, be it yoga, be it culinary arts, be it performing arts or music. And we draw a large number of other communities into SIFAS, firstly out of curiosity or appreciation, and then they become part of the arts community. We have a good number of local Chinese, Malays, as also Europeans, Americans, Japanese, Korean, Australian, and name it, you have them represented in the SIFAS community as members, as students, as those who are appreciating and audiences. And that is the beauty of Singapore Indian Fine Arts Society, which is very global in its presentation. It's been an interesting challenge to bring modernity and technology into the Indian classical arts, which have a history of over 1,000 years and may not be very adaptive to these new breakthroughs. However, COVID in a way has helped us, which was catalytic, and we had to immediately shift and pivot from physical classes to digital classes, train our teachers, our students, to give them as much of support on the digital classrooms, and SIFAS became a digital institution overnight, and we continue to run all our classes. Not only classes, all our performances had to be done digitally, and that was another new wave that helped us to create excellent digital platforms which today have made sure that SIFAS is not limited to Singapore, but we have 160,000 followers on our social media handles, on the programs that we put out, on what our students do, and the news that we share on the subject. This has been an extremely transformative process for us in dealing with our members, our communities, and our followers around the world. Yet another aspect is in the classroom, the pedagogy, the style of teaching, and adapting it to digital learning and self-learning and self-discovery has been yet another process that we have been following, so that today in the digital world our young children like to be on devices and love to watch short videos, long videos, lectures, and it becomes a very enriching experience, not just for the student but the parents and the families also to start appreciating Indian classical arts, and they get involved in a holistic way thanks to the physical and the intersection of digital inputs that we are providing. The spirit of India is manifested internationally not only by its expatriate communities, Indian origin people, but simply the way Indian culture, Indian forms of cuisine, art, yoga has spread all around the world, and people from different races have come and embraced it. I think in the next frontier, with what is happening in the world, which is causing a whole lot of stress and mental difficulties and mental health for various people, what Indian classical music, dance and arts do is they bring you back to your own self. It's a journey of self-discovery. It's a journey that gives you peace, inner harmony and tranquility, and those who come into this world of pursuing these arts are not going to go back because they start enjoying and living the peaceful benefits of pursuing these art forms. The entire SIFAS family, if I may say, which includes the management committee, our staff, our teachers, our members, our students, their families and the community and leaders of Singapore, all of us were very elated that the Prime Minister of India, Honorable Narendra Modi ji, mentioned so warmly about the arts being pursued by institution and for his compliments. It has truly been a great inspiration for us to do more as we go forward into the next decade with new premises, new programs and new technologies that we are pursuing today. The entire family of SIFAS felt elated. That includes our advisors, our trustees, our management committee, our students, our staff, our gurus, families and the entire Singapore establishment was absolutely delighted to receive such warm compliments from the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who very beautifully presented and stated how important culture is and how various groups have been doing, and we are truly honored by his kind words, and we feel more and more inspired to do more as we move into the next decade into our new premises and new faculties, inducting more technology and becoming far more impactful in promoting the arts around this part of the world.